Hello and welcome to level 157 of the
Hey,
Thoughts and Players podcast, the gaming podcast with bold takes and no strings attached. I am Jeremy, here with my compadre, David.
what up?
What is up? How's your evening been today?
My evening is going all right. I just ate some dinner, some
Nice.
masaman again.
Okay.
I have a problem because it is delicious.
Yeah.
Um, that's about it. How's your day?
It's going all right. It is going all right. I just got done with dinner as well. I had a chef salad and some soup. I am stuffed.
Mm.
Yeah.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny
Mm.
is Bangkok, they gave us a free item and it was sweet and sour soup, and I hate soup.
Okay. Yeah.
I was like, of all the free items they could have gave me, they gave me soup.
Uh-huh. I'm assuming is it when you gave is it to a point now where like you don't even entertain trying to try a soup? You're just like, eh. Or are
No,
you still at the
it's
point where you're
just
like, I might, well, this is a new soup. Let me see if this soup works. Or is it more so like it's a soup, get it out of my face. I don't need it.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because my friend, he is a great chef. I seem to know quite a few people that know how to cook, you being one of them. But yeah, he made some great food. So he made this soup around Thanksgiving time.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like has like some potato and a bunch of other soup item. I don't even remember the soup, but he had a little get together and everyone devoured that soup.
Yeah.
Like it was just gone, right? He
Yeah.
made some more later on in the week and brought some over my house because I didn't try any there. So him and his partner are over and we're just playing, games and stuff like that. Eventually they're like, all right, we're getting into this soup. So they're all eating soup and Emily, she's like, just try it. Just try it. I took one spoonful and I was like, I want to throw up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Throw up. Like it was instantly. I was just like, like almost. It was there immediately, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Like I know it's not you. It's not your soup. Obviously, your soup is really good. People are just devouring your soup.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah, and
saying?
it's so weird because I know I'm missing out on a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I know there's some good soups out there,
Yeah. Yeah. I
but
mean,
I just can't.
we're talking to someone that has a bias towards soups. So yeah, I think there's a bunch of soups. I actually, for the first time, maybe last week, did a Brussels sprout soup. It's a recipe that I got
Ooh,
from the
you need to
chiropractor.
give me that.
Yeah.
Emily loves Brussels sprouts.
Okay. Okay. Um, I will do that. Yeah, I'll find it. It's around here somewhere, I think. But yeah, I did like I had the recipe for like weeks before I actually did it. But yeah, I did it and turned out pretty good. I was surprised. I like Brussels sprouts too, but I
Mhm.
wasn't sure how to work in a soup because it has a little bit of that bitterness to it.
Yeah, it
But
just sounds weird,
yeah, but it
but
ended up working out all right, and that's partially because it calls for some cream and cheese. So eventually, it turns into a broccoli cheddar soup. So but it's
it's
Brussels sprout. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the difference.
hey,
Yeah.
it matters. It counts.
hmm Ladies and gentlemen, chickens, ducks, and hens. Hope you're doing well this evening.
Yeah.
Let us know. Are you a soup person or not the soup person? Are you
Soup or no
do you
soup?
find it are you kind of like I don't know if revulsed is or revolts by it like David is, or are you kind of a soup lover? I mean, we're talking it's 70, 80, 90 degrees outside. I got no problem jumping into a bowl of soup. You know what I'm saying? My favorite soup, chicken lemon rice. Really like it. Um, but
Mm.
yeah, let us know. We've got a cool, I think, interesting topic to talk about this evening. So we're going to get to that. But before we get there, we're going to start where we always start, and that is talking about the games that we are playing.
Yeah.
Um, How do you want to start this off? Want me to start? It's going to be boring. It's going to be
I
repetitive.
mean, it's welcome to my life.
I know.
You
I
know,
know.
you know. Yeah, get it out the way, I guess.
Alrighty. Well, your boy has finally found himself planting some canola in one of his farms. Okay. I've
Ooh.
been cutting grass and fermenting it in the silage. Got a nice little silage business running. So obviously I'm
Hmm.
playing Farming Simulator 25 for the people out there listening. But I bought a big field and I planted some canola in it, trying to step up my crop game because the grass it pay, but it don't pay like it need to pay. Not if I'm gonna get some of these big machines and do what I want to do. So I've been doing that, but I've been once again deep into Farming Simulator 25. Got again a little bit of Medieval Dynasty in there, but it's been mostly Farming Simulator 25.
Yeah.
I am becoming fatigued at how much I am not like done with I need to be done with this. I need to be done. I need to be done with this farming simulator phase. Um,
This is what I say about the online games that I play.
yeah,
Yet I put thousands of hours into them. I
I
should play
know,
something else without, as I play this for 10 hours that day.
right? Yeah, and there's even been because there's mods. So now I'm even looking into stuff as like, wow, I could maybe even make some mods for this game if I really really wanted to, and different
You
stuff
could
like
grow
that.
Shreks.
I know, man. Yeah, yeah. So, did you say grow? You said grow Shreks.
Just grow some Shreks. Yeah.
That'd be that'd be pretty funny as a because they
As
list
you're,
crop types, right? They list the crop types. You got corn, you've got canola, you've got beets, and you just got Shrek, and then it's just a face, and like that's
yeah,
what it looks like.
when
And
you're
you can,
plucking them, get out of my swamp.
it's just just different names, just different catchphrases and stuff, and then they either they sell for the most money or they sell for nothing.
Yeah,
Like I'm
it's
like
a all or nothing type situation.
and I mean like you harvest an entire field of Shreks and you turn it in and you get $0.
Yeah.
Like that type of thing, Um just doing it for the love of the game. But that's pretty much it. That's mostly just been what I've been playing. Farming Simulator 25, still at it.
All right.
Yeah.
Um, well, you guys know me. It's all the same. I did play finals a little bit. Still annoying teammates, but whatever.
Yeah.
Uh, Frag Punk mostly. I think I've hit my peak. I keep Masters 1,
Yeah.
Ace 5. Masters 1, Ace 5. Like, that's just I'll take it. I'll take
Yeah.
it. And a little bit of Rivals.
Okay. Nice.
Actually, I played a couple games of Apex too.
Oh yeah.
Huh. Yeah, so I got a whole little dish here this time.
Nice.
But
Nice.
it's all my typical stuff.
Yeah. I think I forgot to. I don't remember. I might have asked you before, I might not have. Had you ever had any interest in that Arc Raiders game that's like super big?
You know, I don't know because I see a lot of like clips from it
Yeah,
and it seems interesting, but I just know myself and just having to go find stuff and collect stuff, like I don't like doing that.
you're right.
So I like I might try it one day if it's on sale for like 10 or 15 bucks. But
Okay.
yeah, I don't see me playing it anytime soon.
Okay. Got you. Yeah.
But
Okay.
a lot of the clips I've seen are funny.
Yeah. Yeah, the game's got some staying power. It's doing its thing.
It does.
We've kind of talked before about like we had a kind of like the like gaming franchises that like are making a comeback or that having a comeback. And part of what we preempted that conversation was what was at the time the blow up of Battlefield 6. It was like
Mhm.
everywhere and everyone was talking about it. And it
Right.
seems like they've kind of fumbled the bag in that regards because there's not anywhere near as many people talking about it like they were.
Yeah,
And
actually, that was the hugest drop. Now that you mention it, like
like just a
for like
crazy
2
fall off.
months, it was nothing but Battlefield 6,
Yeah.
and then it was just gone.
Hmm. Yeah, it was crazy, but like, because part of me was thinking about that too, because we're talking. I mean, just bringing up Arc Raiders, and I'm not sure if you get reminded and then immediately forget, but this has happened to me a lot. I get reminded and then immediately forget that Bungie came out with Marathon. Like Marathon is out. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
anybody's aware of
Yep.
that, but you can go buy Marathon and play it if you want. I think it's like $40 on Steam. I didn't check if that's like the price everywhere else, but um that's another one where I'm like, oh, I remember it's a Bungie game, so I have some modicum of interest in at least seeing what this thing is about. It's their PvP VE extraction shooter. Like they're getting in the game with it. They had it with Destiny, so they're like, hey, we're bringing back an IP to do this with. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, that's something else that's out there. Have you had any interest even in Marathon really at all or no?
Honestly, I don't even know what the game is about. I've seen a trailer, but it was just like a few like things or whatever, and I just
Yeah.
saw something that ranked mode is coming next week or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. But yeah, what even? I don't even.
Cyborgy techno extraction shooter. That's literally all I would say it is, and that's mostly just by the marketing and the commercials and different stuff like that. But I mean, my whole thing is if the Bungie formula is behind the gunplay is going to at least be enjoyable, right? For all the things that Destiny is not, the gunplay is still it's still AAA quality gunplay, right? So that's the only thing where I'm kind of like, well, I don't know what it's about. I don't know if it's entertaining, if it's engaging, but I have a feeling it'll feel pretty nice to shoot a gun in that game. That's the only confident thing I have about my thoughts on Marathon or what it could possibly be. But yeah, I was thinking about some of these shooters and what they may turn out to be. Because
Right.
the only one that I've kind of really jumped into that would be an online shooter per se has been of recently has been Helldivers. And again, I haven't even put a ton of time into that. But that's been the only one that I've really been playing. Um, I actually don't
Right.
really play that many shooters at all recently, which is kind of like that's something I've got to fix. Like, it's mostly been either farming or some medieval crap. Like, like I gotta get into the current age,
I'll just say, yeah, I jump up a few ages. You
Yeah,
know,
I know, right? Yeah. Yeah, I got to do that for sure. Um, yeah. But
the I just
yeah.
watched a little bit of a trailer and it looks it looks I don't Call
You
of Duty-ish,
okay?
but
Like
Halo-like graphics.
okay. Okay, so like Call of Duty sci-fi like
Yeah,
like
this is
like
like
real
the looks like
like kind of
the way
space
they were
sci-fi.
moving around
Oh, okay.
looks like
Oh, I
Call of
got you.
Duty.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I might try it. Do you know you said it was like $40?
I think it's 40
That's
on
a little
Steam.
high in my end,
It's a
but
little steep. It's got 21,000 reviews, all very positive. Um, yeah,
I'll
you were
put
saying
it
it
on
looks
my
kind
wish
of Call of
list.
Duty-ish.
Just
To
yeah,
me,
just
it
the way they were like running and then like jumping to climb on stuff.
hmm,
It
yeah,
might maybe not gameplay wise.
yeah. To me, yeah, I'm only seeing like very brief things of it, and to me initially, my thoughts was it seems very Apexy. Was kind of like my initial thought of like how everything's set up and the presentation of it, at
You,
least.
you might be right because I was getting a feeling it was kind of Titanfall-y as well.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, it's kind of what I took away from it. But yeah, I wait. I mean, they're gonna probably end up throwing this thing on sale, so maybe wait for it to drop a few bucks.
Right, yeah, I put it on my wish list so that way it will let me know.
Yeah, that might be one that I check out too. Just because, again, I know that it's gonna the gunplay is always on point with Bungie. So, um, yeah. Well, alrighty, with that out the way, I guess we can move into our main topic.
I guess we can.
Main topic, and our topic. is another kind of the state of gaming topic, and it's more like a WTF. Like what is going on in gaming right now? So we're
It's
gonna list
wild.
off I'm gonna list off a list of games here just for people so we can kind of lead into this discussion. So here's the games. I got a list of about what is it? Three, six, eight right now.
Mm. It's 369 we were looking for.
What is it? What is it? 369? What is it? Tailberg Grind? What is it?
Dang, she
What is
fine.
Dang she fine? Suck it to me one more time. From the
Yeah,
window to the wall, ski ski. There
yeah,
we
yeah,
go.
yeah. See, you know what's up.
The venerable legendary all ski ski. Can never forget that. Uh so the list of games here I have is High Guard, Concord,
Hmm. Hmm.
Babylon's Fall,
Hmm.
Battleborn,
Hmm.
Anthem,
Hmm.
Crucible, Knockout City, Ashes of Creation. What do all these games have in common? All these games are no longer in existence. That's one thing they all have in common. What's the second thing they all have in common?
They were
All
potential
of them.
names of my child.
This is true. This is true. What's the third thing they have in common? Is that um they were all big double A plus to triple A games that got canceled within a very short time frame of them being released. So this seems like has and we have games like I think um what is it? Battleborn goes back to 2016. Um
Dang.
so that's like this kind of feels like when this was emerging. Um so what was actually is going on here? I think the one that may have been the longest lasting was Anthem. I think Anthem officially closed down January of this year after it launched in 2019. So that's a five-ish, six-ish year run on that game.
Right.
That's the longest tenured. And that game was a disaster. It was a disaster, right? Which shows you how much more disaster all these other games are. The most recent kind of, I guess, casualty of this is High Guard, which is getting canceled after a month or two of being out. It's assumed that this game had a development cost somewhere of excess of 100 million plus dollars, right? The same goes for Concord, which was a big first party IP set up by Sony, put over $100 million into it. Babylon's Fall was Equinox's Square Enix's, not, Equinox's, the Square Enix's big kind of like put up tentpole that failed. They didn't disclose development costs for that, but we know how much these games typically cost now,
Yeah.
60 to 80 million dollars, right? Battleborn, same thing. That was Gearbox's big thing. Battleborn was coming out at the exact same time that Overwatch launched. One won, one didn't. Battleborn didn't, right? Um, Anthem Crucible was the $80 million multiplayer thing that was the big Amazon Game Studio kind of multiplayer online game that was out there that crashed and burned. Knockout City was through
Yeah.
EA, right? And then Ashes of Creation is also a more recent MMORPG that launched and then had a disastrous thing where it's failed, it's crashed and burned. The founder and the board are in lawsuits and different things are happening right there. The question emerges, what the heck is going on in gaming? Where, yeah, sure, there were always you'd have games that came out and underperformed, right? You could make
Of
the argument
course.
that
Of
Anthem is
course.
kind of is the last kind of mold of old, where it came out, it flopped, and then it kind of just lingered on a bit, and then finally somebody finally took it out, put a bullet in it, right? All these other things, they're launching, and within 2 to 3 months, someone is coming with a freaking guillotine and cutting their heads off.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not like these, oh, this is a cool little $10 million indie we tried to put out to see if we could get some stuff. We're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars behind these games that they spend on development that get launched and they put a fire to it in 2 or 3 months. And then it's like, well, all that value, all that equity put into something just evaporates. That's not sustainable for the company, and therefore means it's not sustainable for an industry. This is becoming a norm. Every 1 to 2 to 3, well, not every year, 1 to 2 to 4 to 6 of these types of things are happening where a game that had millions of dollars behind it and big publicity and big marketing comes out and flops, and they just burn it. They just torch it, and it's over. I don't ever remember this happening back 10, 15, back in my day. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't I honestly, like, I don't recall this in the 360 days, right? Where a game that had one of the biggest budgets ever came out and it just flopped so hard, and they were like, "Well, we're done. Yeah, it's a wrap. Don't worry about it. Never happened." Like, what do you like? That's not sustainable. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Like,
agree.
so like, what is causing this? What do we think? What are we theorizing is actually causing this to happen? Because this is an emerging pattern that's happening over and over again.
In my opinion, I think there's a missing connection between developers and customers,
Mm,
right? And especially just strictly live service games, right?
yeah.
There's I don't know the numbers, so I'll say there's one at least coming out every year. There's a new free to play game, or it costs $20, whatever. It's a live service, and as each and every game comes out, that's more and more people are spreading themselves. Like, how do you
Mm,
expect? I don't even, if I had to guess, what, 100 live service games that are
yeah.
going on right now, right? And you only
Yeah.
have a certain amount of people that are going to sit there and put that kind of time into a game like that.
Yeah.
And every year you release a new one, where are you getting your people from?
Yeah.
Unless it's just that amazing of a game that they ditch their old spot and come to this new spot, which we have seen isn't really happening,
Right.
and I liked multiplayer for like what it used to be. Like, it was just the game and then multiplayer, and what was there is what was there. Like, I loved Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is still my favorite online game to play,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't have any of this crazy stuff we have nowadays. It didn't have skins. It didn't have this and that you had to purchase. I mean, there was, camos and stuff for your guns, but like, you didn't have to, heirlooms like in Apex, right? There wasn't none of that. Um, the maps is what you got. And then, once in a while they would have like DLC.
Yeah.
DLCs are fine, but this live
Yeah.
service games, they have to have something new every 3 months, right?
Right.
And you have these games like Apex, been out for 7 years now. All these people are spending their time in Apex. They're so invested, they're not going to go anywhere else unless it absolutely blows them out of the water.
Right.
So you can
Yeah.
sit there and release all these games, and unless they are blowing the minds of these people, which they're not, because they're being rushed, they're being, I forgot what it's called when they have to when they work a lot of long hours,
Oh,
cramming,
crunch. Yeah.
crunch
Yeah.
hours and stuff like that. Like, these developers, they want to make amazing games. They've sat their whole life, most of their lives, trying to get up to where they are,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just have these bosses and stuff breathing down their neck. We need this, we need that. I mean, like, obviously we don't if these games are crashing and burning this fast.
Yeah.
You know, I I wouldn't mind if a live service game was more like the old Call of Duties or the old Halos.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a DLC every year instead of every 3 months. If the game is good, you're gonna keep your people. You don't need to entice everybody with this awesome looking skin and this awesome looking reward. If you download your and pre-order this and that. Like, just give us a great game,
Mm-hmm.
And we've even seen you can turn bad games into great games, like Cyberpunk being one of them, and No Man's Sky, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just you're spreading your customers way too thin with just crappy craftsmanship,
Yeah.
and obviously they have the capabilities because we have all these indie video game creators, some of them not even knowing how to make a video game, much alone a render of anything,
Mm-hmm.
starting from basic knowing nothing and making some amazing games.
Yeah.
You just need the time and the dedication to it, not crunch time and just make it until it kind of works.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's my opinion.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. It kind of, what you were saying made me think about like like you're saying, like all the live service games that are out there, that there's hundreds of them, right? And I think a lot of people don't actually realize that, those people mostly being the execs at these companies.
Hmm.
So like I can go into, so like right now, like I'm on Steam database, which kind of gives you an approximation of how many people are playing what, right? And I feel like a
Right.
lot of times you hear these people talk about, yeah, we're coming, they're trying to grab a piece of the they're trying to grab a piece of the Fortnite cake, right? Because they think like
Right.
that's what everybody's playing. They're playing like Fortnite, or they're playing like Call of Duty Warzone stuff, and it's like, but just as an example, right, of some of the most played games right now that are on Steam right now of numbers.
Right.
Right now, there are almost 800,000 people playing Counter Strike 2. Right now, there
Which
are
is insane. That
right,
game has been number one, like OG, like since it came out.
right now, there are close to 300,000 people playing Dota 2. Right, we
Also
talked
another one. Insane.
exactly right. We talked about Arc Raiders. Like right now, it has like Arc Raiders has 122,000 people playing. Do you know who's right underneath Arc Raiders? PUBG. PUBG has over 100,000 people playing it right now.
What?
Tom Clancy's, in fact, PUBG and Rainbow Six Siege right now have more players than Marvel Rivals does, and Marvel Rivals has almost 100,000 people playing, right? But it goes beyond the big ones we're talking about, like the Helldivers 2 and the Apexes, right? There's
Hmm.
games like Rust. There's games like you got Battlefield 6 here, but there's other kind of live play. 30,000 people are playing Rocket League right now. 30,000 people are playing DayZ right now. The basic point of what's trying to get it across is that like they think we're going to take some of the pie of we're going to take some of what Fortnite's got, without the understanding that Fortnite has what it has in opposition of all the other things that are also taking space. Because Counter Strike is taking space, Arc Raiders is taking space, Valorant is taking space, Rainbow Six is taking space, right?
Exactly.
And then the one that I was going to go to, No Man's Sky, which is technically a live service game, right? That's pulling right now, that has about 9,000 people playing it. It's nowhere near as big as those other games. And that's true. It's nowhere near. And it still has 9,000 people playing it. And you have to convince people that not just the people playing Fortnite, you have to convince all these other people that are playing these games like No Man's Sky or an Arc Raiders or a Daisy or something like that, that your game is the game they need to put time in to. Like your new IP is the thing that's there. So what you do with like High Guard, for example, is that you come out trying to create, essentially an Apex Legends clone. The people that play Apex Legends probably aren't going to play your game because their social network is tied to that game. And all the other people that are out there, you don't appeal to them. You need to create games that are unique, that have artistry in them, and that are trying to fulfill a need that people have that they can't get or can't exercise normally right now with games. And that's what most of these companies aren't doing. They're looking at the market
Hmm.
and they're saying that we're going to make an Apex. We're going to make an Overwatch. we're gonna make a Fortnite or whatever it is. And it's like, bro, like you're not gonna take their stuff. There's not gonna be a new game that comes out and takes, especially these big ones. They go after the big ones. Like I can see like Arc Raiders being able to come out and say, hey, we're a different take on an extraction shooter. There's a lot out there. Ours is a little bit different, and it fills that niche right there, right? And that's how I was able to kind of gain a foothold. You
Right.
have to be, but otherwise, like that's not going to really work. And there seems like there's just the thought of let's do that and not anymore. So then they throw all this money behind these games. And there's also the other thing you spoke to too, which is the first point you make, was that there's a disconnect between developers and consumers. I think High Guard is I think High Guard and Concord, both of them, are the absolute like just the pure examples of the developers having really no sense of what the gaming community and consumers at large want, and getting a bunch of toxic positivity and a bunch of uninformed reinforcement of their development and stuff. And then everyone sees the game and they're like, this sucks. And you're like, no, wait a minute. I've been being told for years that this game is going to be awesome.
Right.
Like how are we that? Which it's almost kind of like, to me, it's almost kind of like, do you not talk to anyone outside of who you work with? Like it's almost kind of like, do you not have a sense of the, like it seems like if you play games you'd have a little bit of a pulse on what people want for games, but that may not be the case, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing too. You have people that are being reinforced, driven down one lane with blinders on, and they're being told to invest all their time and money into these games that are just trying to be like other games already out there, and they're worse versions, they're more cynical versions, and no one wants that. So then, and because
Exactly.
there was never the plan to make it unique or appeal to anyone else, what can they do with it? They're like, hey, High Guard, we made High Guard to be Apex. Well, if we aren't going to be Apex, we aren't going to beat anyone because we made this to beat Apex. So let's just torch it. We can't do anything else with it. Like we can't, you know what I'm saying? Like I can't turn around and make
Yeah.
this, be, the next No Man's Sky, the next Marvel Rivals. It wasn't designed to be that, right? Battleborn was supposed to be a hero shooter. We're supposed to be Overwatch. Okay, well, Overwatch 1, you can't do it. So now what's going to make you different? We're going to add minions and different things like that. Okay, well, that just makes you Dota. People already have Dota. What else are you going to do to make
That's
yourself different? We're going to torch it. We're just going to torch it and walk away, right? That's like what they have to do because they don't really have any other option. There's no other forethought, like kind of put into these games. And so it's like, I don't, it's concerning that there's that much of a regular disconnect between developers and consumers.
Mhm.
And there's that much of a lack from the corporate, mostly corporate structure, right? Trying to make that known because there's ton of creativity in the indie space, and we see that all the time.
Oh yeah.
But such a lack of creativity from like the corporate AA plus to AAA development space. And I'm sure that's mandated mostly by management because those people are uninspired and have no creativity, right? Um, but
Mhm.
it's such a concern that it's like, ugh, um, this is this doesn't bode well for the industry as a whole. Everyone's still trying to beat Fortnite, just like at one point everyone was trying to beat Minecraft, and it was like, no, you're not. That's not how it's gonna work. Lego, you can put out as many Lego worlds or as many type of things you want. You're not gonna beat Minecraft. Minecraft is Minecraft. You have to do something that's unique and that
Lego
appeals to people.
Minecraft.
Lego Worlds is basically like Minecraft, but with Legos. And I remember playing it and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be great. 5 minutes in, I'm like, this game freaking blows, dude. Get out of here, bro. That's why I'm glad this is back in the day when you were still able to rent games. I rented Lego Worlds. I
Mhm.
did not buy it.
Yeah. I rented games. I was like so ready to play, and they were just garbage. I was like, good thing.
Trash. Yeah. Yeah. It's uh it's really interesting that this is it's becoming a pattern, man. Like there was a one big indie game the day before that was like came out and then it was canceled because it was basically a scam game, and everyone kind of had a suspicion right before it came out that it was a scam game, even though it was also the most wishlisted game on Steam at one point. And so it's like, man, like it just keeps happening a lot more. And it's just concerning because that used to happen all the time with smaller indie games. I remember back in the day watching creators like um Jim Sterling and Total Biscuit like talk about these indie games that were kind of scammy, these games that would come out and they wouldn't be supported and then they'd be torched and the indie people would walk away with like 50K. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Some freaking scammy Chechnyan developers would crap out a game on Steam and put it up and make 50, 60 racks and then disappear, right? But now they're not doing that. PlayStation is doing it. They're not, you know what I'm saying? Like now it's like these big AAA, things, and obviously they're not just walking away with their lives. They're issuing refunds, I think, in most cases,
Mhm.
and stuff like that. But there's still kind of the conceit of we put all this money into something that takes years. That's the other thing too. These games take years. They take longer than they used to take. And the whole time it's like, yep, good, yep, good. No check in with the outside world at all, it seems like. And then they release these games and it's like, this ain't it. This sucks. We already have something like this that is better or it already has a community around it. And then it flops. And then rather than being like, well, let's try to find a way to salvage it, let's give it new life. Like you were saying, like something like a Cyberpunk or a No Man's Sky.
Right.
Let's keep working to bring it to its actual full vision. They can't do that with these games because as these games, when they launch, they are the full vision. Highguard was released as it was envisioned to be released, and with ideas for it to get better, but to double down on those mechanics. So when a game intrinsically doesn't work, it just doesn't work. There's nowhere that you can't make it better, right? But
Mhm.
now they're just like, we're not going to do that. We're not going to go the Anthem way. We're just going to light it on fire. We told you guys this took 5 years and $100 million. We're just going to shut it down. We're going to shut down the game. We're going to shut down the servers. We just spent $100 million in 5 years for nothing. We just got a thing. The
Yep.
IP is done. No one's going to want the IP. There's not going to be someone lurking on a black market for IPs and being like, "Oh, I got to grab that Concord IP." That thing is valuable. I could put out my own little game, the Concordian, right? Like nobody's going to do that. It's just lost. It's just dead money, man. And it's crazy. It's not, and it just keeps happening. Like it's not slowing down at all. It
Mhm.
just keeps happening. I'm wondering what the next game is going to be that comes out and absolutely it's lit on fire, becomes a dumpster fire, and then it's 3 weeks later, we're going to shut it down. Oh, really? How much it costs? Well, it costs $60 million to make. Oh, okay. You just to light $60 million on fire while you're also increasing prices on us and taking longer to make these games and everything like that. It just doesn't compute in my brain,
No,
you know?
not at all.
Oh man, it's so crazy. I mean, what do you think is the actual strategy for fixing this then? What do you think might be actually what's some things that we think need to happen for it to get fixed? Do we think is it just like you talked about like that? I think that's a really important one. More than a lot of things is the seeming just ever increasing disconnect between developer, publisher, and consumer. How do we rectify that? Because it's almost to a
That's a
point where
good question.
it's kind of like adversarial almost the relationship sometimes it feels like, you know?
Yeah, because so say it happens. Say the developers like, hey, we want to talk to some of the customers, see what we can do better, right? And say
Mm-hmm.
it's the devs of Apex.
Yeah.
So who are they going to listen to? Are they going to listen to the person that is making money streaming the game
Mm-hmm.
and they're complaining about points A and B, or are
Mm-hmm.
they going to listen to the average Joe like myself, who I have a couple thousand hours into the game and I have some criticisms I can give them about points C, D, and E, or are they going to listen to somebody who is like a pro and is on like esport teams and complain about points F and G,
Mm-hmm.
right? So who do they think is the most important? It should be the average Joe, not because it's just me, but like the average Joe is the one who's coming home from work and playing for a couple hours of the day,
Yeah.
or it's the weekend. I don't have school today. I'm in my mid 20s. before I go and hang out with my friends, I'm going to play for a couple hours. You
Hmm.
kind of want to appeal to these people, but the problem is a lot of those same people watch the other people,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
a lot of them are more so watching than they are actually playing themselves. So they just kind of agree with them, So you have average Joe listing points A, B, and F and G when they should be on B, C, D, and E.
Hmm.
So that's a hard one, and I don't know the answer, but if they can start just by listening, making a
Yeah,
change here and there, like Apex has made some changes that the communities have said to do, and it's been a better. Like I've even seen like posts on like Reddit, like, hey, there's always negativity. I just want to say I like this change. Thank you for listening. Blah 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 blah.
yeah,
And it doesn't help that pretty much every single community of any video game is mostly toxic.
yeah,
Sportsmanship isn't even a word anymore in this day and
yeah,
age.
yeah. That's
It's kind of
interesting.
it's sad.
Yeah, that like it used to be you could I mean obviously there's more toxic communities than other, but I would it's rarely that I've come across even just from a superficial level to look at some communities where I'm like, "Oh, like this is be interesting to look at," and it's just like, "Oh, yeah, this is a super great supportive community, different stuff like that." I remember like Corey would be on here and would be like, "Oh, let me tell you something, man, the freaking Pokemon. No, he said the Super Smash Bros. Community is one of the worst communities out there. And I think that it's actually supposed to be some from some measurable fact true, but it's like it's Super Smash Bros. How can
Right.
you
Like
be
how
toxic with Super Smash Bros? Like it just doesn't make sense. Or like the oh man, the Pokemon community is super like like the game's like how it's
right.
Pokemon,
I
right?
I
Like
know.
how?
It's like
But they find a way.
magic. They
Yeah,
find a way.
it's it is insane. I do think you bring up a good point. The idea of like checking in and listening to the community, but listening to all the different segments of your community. So just don't listen to the influencer, just don't listen to the pro, don't just listen to the streamer. And maybe, don't just listen to maybe the average person that fills out a form on your forum or something like that, but listen to all of them collectively and try to find the themes and the patterns that are emerging. Like, what are the complaints actually about? Right? Because someone may articulate the same issue a different way. Like it may appear different for them. You know what
Hmm.
I'm saying? If there's an issue with like net code, someone that has a complaint about one thing and someone that has a complaint about a different thing, they may both be the responsibility of your net code. And it's like, oh, this is something that we need to address, right? So like not favoring weighing them all equally. I also think that and I know a lot of games do this, but some games don't. Some developers don't like live Q and A's or like actually talking to. Because again, if someone fills out some anonymous form or different thing like that, that's fine to get that information. But sometimes, I mean, at least my personal experience, actually having a conversation with someone who can articulate what they're thinking and what they're feeling and what they're witnessing is actually more helpful than trying to interpret their text. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like trying to do some things like that, I think would be helpful. Yeah, but it's also a thing too of you have to get more of those people in the C-suite and in the management spaces. You know what I'm saying? Like I really reflect back on that letter that one developer from Highguard wrote and how it coincides with a lot of different um anecdotes and stories from people who were developers that wrote on Twitter or something else like that. The cultural disconnect of all of us inside thought this game was going to be awesome. It was going to be an absolute hit, no doubt about it. You people have you have you have to understand the difference from the dichotomy of this game is going to be a hit, an absolute no thinker. This is an absolute hit. To this game is a dumpster fire and it's gone in a month. There is a huge spectrum of success or failure in between those.
Yeah.
And you went from thinking this and got the most opposite you could get. The only way it would have been worse is if it got canceled the day it came out,
That's
right? That's the only way it gets
crash
worse.
burn.
Exactly, right? Like what is that? You know what I'm saying? Like how is that happening and how is it becoming so much more frequent, right? You
Right.
have I mean, and that's the relationship. That's responsibility. Part of that responsibility lies on games journalism to some extent, and but we know for years they fail at that. They aren't good at that. They have different ulterior motives. It's all about access and
Hmm.
different things like that. They have their own things, brought about by the need of survivability with a lot of things. So the consumers say this game sucks. The developers like, no, we thought this thing was going to be awesome. It's going to be great. The journalists are like, no, guys, you need to be nicer to the developers so they can succeed like they thought they were going to succeed. And it's like,
That's
why?
not our job.
That's not our job. You need to be communicating their ideas to us in a way that we understand. And you also need to be communicating our thoughts to them in a way that they understand. Because that idea of you just kowtow to what someone wants doesn't garner success for anyone. It's shown your role in all of this has shown that it's not helpful at all because you're setting everyone up to fail. You're setting the developer up to fail and you're setting consumers up to be disappointed. And you're not
Yeah.
helping anyone, right? So I don't it's kind of weird that that's happening. That feels like a major issue. Then it's you can't I can't we can't change the minds of people that think, oh, we just need to we just need to take Fortnite's money. They got plenty of money. Let's just get some of their audience and then we'll be fine. If you're that if you're that kind of, for lack of a better words, dumb to think that
Naive.
naive, right? To think that that's the play, I can't. You're beyond me. I can't help you, right? Um, that's what a licensed professional is for. If you
Yeah.
have that kind of denseness inside of you, but like there needs to be a better way to kind of make that connection happen. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah, I agree.
it's just crazy. It just can't go on forever. You know what I'm saying? Like every year, 3, 4, 5 games that were in development for 4, 5, 6 years, 80, 100, $120 million, and they just get guillotined 3 weeks after they come out. Like it just
Right.
doesn't
And
make sense.
like you're saying, like, do they not have any kind of reviewers that are not part of the development team at all or anything? Like, do you think somebody just like wrote a book, printed it, and then just became the number one bestseller? Do you know how
It's
many
right,
edits they had to do for that book? Or like,
right.
you know, music in general. I like to
Yeah,
have someone listen to it before I release a song, like music videos.
yeah,
Like people have had the opinions of other people about everything before they've released it.
yeah,
Maybe not every single person has,
yeah,
but in every single way of creativity, people are like, hey, do you like this? Do you have any critiques? And then they release it.
yeah. I mean,
At least you have a better start.
yeah, they're kind of like almost kind of side. They're kind of almost cutting that path
Yeah,
out because
they psych
eventually,
themselves up
yeah.
and then
Well, you know where they're at the point now where the artist has created a bunch of great work and they've just surrounded themselves with yes men and people where they do anything and they're like, oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. And then you're sitting there and you're wondering like, why is my favorite artist that I've been listening to and making great music for the past 10, 12 years? Why does all their stuff sound dumb and vapid and stupid now and doesn't contain any of the soul and essence and artistry that I used to remember? And then it's like, it's because they don't have people saying, hey, that kind of sucks a little. Let's work on it. Right? They lost that
right.
because criticism damaged their ego. And it's kind of like, well, where's the ego? This is the studio's first. I know, understand. It may be developers working there that have worked on games that have shipped before, but as a collective, this is your first one. Why is there no one checking? There's no one that looked at that game and said, this ain't it. You might want to work on some of this stuff. No one said that, right? Like it just doesn't compute. It doesn't make any sense, you know? You
Yeah.
got to have that. Like you're saying, anybody that's in any kind of like professional capacity that works with other professionals, those professionals criticize their work because they have a concept of a standard that they're thinking this doesn't uphold to a certain aspect of standard that I've experienced in my professional life, right? And It's like, where did that happen? Where was that?
Exactly.
It's
It's like
it's really
criticism
strange.
is not a a bash on you as a person or your work, right? Like I guess constructive criticism isn't. A toxic criticism like, oh, this sucks, you know?
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I'd put a video on YouTube. I was like, any criticism greatly appreciated, and they'd be like, this sucks. I'd be like, okay, thanks, but like what? Where's the criticism? Where's the critique? Like what? It was like one of my shuffling videos. Do I need to work on my running man, or what? Do I need to add more moves? Like,
Hmm.
help me. Just saying it sucks does nothing for me. But if you're saying,
Yeah.
hey, you could try this or do this, like give me help if you want to say something. If somebody randomly picked me and be like, hey, can you come test our game? I would go, I would play it, and I would give constructive criticism. Like, hey, I like most of it. There's this thing that's weird, it seems to be glitching or doesn't work. Like, I would give tips. You obviously asked me to come here to play so I can help you create a better game, right? If I just went in there and be like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, that's gonna help them. Amazing work by me.
I know, right?
You
Yeah.
know, is it, we need more from everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if they're thinking that, because again, the criticism they're getting is internet criticism, which now is just really not very constructive, and it's unnecessarily kind of biting and mean at times.
Hmm.
But it's like, but that's not what you're getting in real life. When you have testers that come in and test your game, they're not like, this sucks. And I'm like, well, why does it suck? Oh, this game feels like it was programmed by a woman. And it's like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not what's happening in those spaces. Someone's walking in and saying, hey, this movement feels a bit odd. It feels maybe a bit lagging behind the thumbnail, different things like whatever it is that they're kind of assessing, stuff like that. They aren't trying to meme lord you when they're coming up with criticism in these game testers or different people in these actual spaces. I mean, if they are, it's fairly obvious, right?
Right.
I just don't understand like the idea of like you're getting all this feedback and it's like, oh, this is great. This is absolutely great. When you have the people running around on horses, shooting guns, and because of the hitboxes, they can basically kill everyone super easy because for some reason they take on the hitbox of the horse and not just themselves. Great touch. Right? Like if that was an actual thing that was happening, no one's saying it like that. No one's saying anything like that. They're gonna be like, hey,
Hmm.
you might want to fix this whole hitbox thing with the horse. They're not going to say, "Oh, yeah, when someone shoots a horse in the leg, it's like a headshot to us and it kills our character instantly. Great design, great work." That's not happening. So it's just kind
No.
of like, what is going on here? You know what I'm saying? Be a little bit more realistic.
Right.
Um, yeah, and then sometimes you should just, I mean, the only praise you can have with it, as some people have said, is that like, well, they know when something sucks, they kill it, and it's like, yeah, but brother, couldn't you know it sucked like $50 million ago?
Right.
Like, man,
For real.
man. Um, yeah. Well, folks out there, let us know what's your thoughts on this kind of emerging pattern. This is something that I wanted to do a video essay on. I had to kind of like articulate my thoughts around what I'm wanting
Hmm.
to explore around it, but it is a troubling pattern that's emerging. Um, and nobody's really talking about it. So, alrighty. With our topic out of the way, that means that we are near the end of the episode, which means it's time for final thoughts, where we can offer a final thought about something either related or unrelated to this podcast episode. So, who wants to give a final thought first? I can
I'll
give
go.
one.
Yeah,
Oh, you
go.
got it?
Go
All
ahead.
right. My final thought is that Starfield is coming to PlayStation 5. So
Hmm.
they're doing that. Real interesting. Starfield, PlayStation 5.
You gonna fall for it twice?
Oh no. No. Um
Okay.
I'm not gonna, if I did fall for it twice, it would be for PlayStation 5. But I am in the throes of building up my Cabbage Farm in Medieval Dynasty on my PlayStation 5. So I have no time for Starfield.
I got no time for space. I gotta grow stuff in the ground on Earth.
I've got to grow stuff in the ground while controlling a character that looks like a 15-year-old member of the Beatles. So yeah,
That's funny.
that's my final thought.
Alrighty. My final thought is my friend's birthday is in 2 days, and her favorite Pokemon is Dragonite. So while I've been going through my like collection and stuff and everything like that, I found a bunch of Dragonite cards. So
Oh,
I'm just gonna that's gonna be her birthday present.
that's cool.
So yeah, there's quite a few of them.
Oh yeah. Oh, I remember having that one.
Yeah, that was one of the. It's the original like first Dragonite card, and then she really loves giraffes.
Okay.
So this is for Farigiraf, which is the evolution of Girafarig. And then this was her Pokemon Go buddy for the longest time. It's an alligator.
Oh, okay.
It's named as Skeledurge. So
Nice.
yeah, we're still kids.
Oh yeah.
Pokemon cards for a present.
Exactly, right? Here, happy birthday. And it's like, oh wow, 1997 again. It's
Yep.
like, man, wouldn't that be great? That's cool.
That's my final thought.
All right. Well, that brings us to the end of level 157, the Awesome Player Podcast. If you like what you heard, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast on the socials and your preferred podcast service. We are also on the YouTube, so we upload video versions of the podcast. If you want to support us, there's a couple ways you can do so. One way, to buy merch at our Teespring store. We sell shirts, hats, different thingies like that. And then also we have a Patreon, $2 a month membership tier. If you want to check that out, join us there, support us there. And yeah, that's pretty much it for me. David, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Peace.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will catch you on the next level.